Hey guys, Unclejona here, back once again, back downstairs in fact, with another beer, which is this one here. And we've gone back to restoring our earth. The next couple of beers are connected together because they're both connected to White Hag. This beer is a collaboration. There's a nice article here about White Hag, and it even mentions Hagstravaganza in there. But mainly it's to do with their updated brewery. And they've gone from a two vessel system to a four vessel system. So they've essentially double capacity. And they've gone from an LPG or gas system to a steam powered system, which is really weird. And as a result, their efficiency, if I'm reading the article right, has gone from 80% to 95% efficiency. So better for the environment because it's essentially 15% more efficient. And they've said that they're committed to using more local materials, more sustainable materials, that kind of stuff. So shum on to the White Hag, and hope you guys had a good time at Hagstravaganza. Watch a beer from that I'm going to be having tomorrow. The other thing is I was actually at the Ramsgate Brewery, which is Gad's essentially brewery, and I spoke to Mr. Eddie Gadd himself. So shamon to Eddie if he's seeing this, probably won't be, but yeah. And he was telling me about the carbon dioxide system that they've implemented, which sucks the carbon dioxide from fermentation, which they can then use, or they can kind of sell on to pubs and distribution systems, etc., etc., which is just mind blown, absolutely crazy. But back to today, we are looking at this one. You can see this beer up here. It's the Smash IPA by White Hag, 4.8% beer. If we look down here, we're using Mosiac hops, which is kind of cool. And it says this beer consists of only one malt, which is Irish ale malt, and one hops. So it's a Mosiac. That's why it's called a smash beer. Oops, my finger's on the wrong side of the page, but you can read that, smash beer, which is really cool. So expect notes of passion fruit, mango, stone fruit, along with clean and balanced bitterness, which is always good. Now, people that are not 100% sure about smash beers, smash, let's see if we can get the name there, where it is down the bottom there. Smash stands for, it's an acronym, single malt and single hop IPA. So one malt, which is the Irish pale malt, and one hop, which is the Mosiac. So this, if you ever wanted to see what a malt or a hop does in a beer, this is a fantastic example. And like all the beers here, it's a collaboration, White Hag versus the Garden Brewery. And it basically says there, the cost of the Irish hare adapts to the weather, etc., which is why those lovelies are on the front. I can put some hairs up here because I'm losing mine. Anyway, you don't want to talk about my hair. You want to see this beer. Whoa, my God. I've had a few of these beers kind of not explode on me, but definitely full, man. And in my opinion, that is not good. I do not like that at all. However, it could be because I'm keeping these beers for a long period of time, which, I'm not surprised about. Let's put that bad boy like that. So you can see those lovelies there. And yeah, as a result, you get a proper fistful of head. 3 fingers, 4. Yeah, 4 fingers because it's sticking out the top of my glass, which is pretty ridiculous. reasonably clear. You can see my fingers through there. Tiny, tiny bit of haze. But it is a smash beer. So hopefully, just absolutely lovely. I was going past a neighbour, or not exactly a neighbour, but someone that lives reasonably close, and they had loads of lovely passion flowers in a hedge not that long ago, and they've all turned into passion fruits. So I don't know if fruits grown by the main road in England would be anything like this, but Chamon. I'm also getting a kind of yeasty, kind of zesty kind of thing going on. Yeah, which is quite good. And that, I mean, that head, look at it, lovely, lovely, fluffy white colour. I know I say that quite a lot, but I do love the fluffy, fluffy white head. So this is going to be interesting, having a smash beer. This kind of beer tells you exactly what a hop is, and to some degree what a malt is as well. Cheers and beers, guys. Let's dig in and see what we get. Oh, oh, that's lovely and clean. You do get a bit of bitterness, but kind of in a kind of lagery bitterness. So this is not high IBUs at all, but it is quite high notes, as I've said before. Very light, very refreshing. Mosaic is kind of one of those type hops. But I think I've said this before on another beer that wasn't a single hopped beer in this case, although this one's a single malted. It kind of lacks that base note for me, which you might get from a Citra or something like that, a more hearty one. It's a little residual sweetness as well. Although it's quite sharp to start with, as we went through the mouthfeel and in the aftertaste, I'm getting a kind of sticky, sugary, residual kind of taste. And under 5%, quite light, so there's no need to balance anything out here, really. Wow, it's really, maybe a lot of that acidity is coming from the carbonation. But yeah, zesty, pithy, definitely fruity, but kind of not in a normal tropical way, like it's not like a juicy fruit. So it's not like a pineapple or that kind of fruit. This is all more, yeah, a little bit more zesty, a little bit more higher top note, passion fruit, maybe a tiny bit of kind of, maybe a little bit of kind of grapefruity type of thing, but it's not that juicy. So it's definitely not a juicy fruit, which is interesting because I always associate Mosaic with NEPA's, Northeast IPAs. And that's not really what I'm getting, but I'm definitely getting that fruitiness. But it's, like I say, it's all the kind of higher, lighter kind of notes, very fresh, but it doesn't have that lower kind of bitterness that I'd associate with an IPA, if that makes sense. Wow, it's so clean though. That malt, really, really nice and clean. Fermented quite well. So I wonder where that sort of sugarness is coming from. Because this isn't a strong beer, it's only 4.8%, I believe. Um, so a little bit of fruitiness there. Maybe they were aiming for 5 and they finished the finish the fermentation a tiny bit early. It's a tiny little bit, but it's really fresh. This, if you've got someone that likes lager and wants to make the change to beer, to real ale, or craft beer, I should say, you're definitely looking at trying to get something like this for them to have, because they'd be like, yeah, these flavors are kind of familiar to me as a lager drinker, but really fresh, but it's something slightly different, something, yeah, it's like a lagery kind of thing, but just with a couple of additions to it. Come on. Oh, getting a few lines on there, you know, I like the kind of lines, but because that head was absolutely ridiculous, it would be really difficult for me to say that this was properly from the kind of malt itself. And we definitely don't have any oats or wheat in there. It's just one single malt. So I think it's done really, really well. Oh, bit of fluff in my throat or something. Maybe cat hair, who knows. Got my Schneider racing carbs on. This is a racing t-shirt, nothing to do with any political leanings at all. Purely about racing because I'm a race head. So Schneider carbs, they make some proper carbs. Even though a lot of racing's all about fuel injection these days. Old school, you need some carbs. I don't need any more carbs. Come on. Anyway, it's been Uncle Jonah here. We're back with another beer from the White Hag, from the Hagstravaganza tomorrow. So we'll definitely look at that one. But this beer, I think is really cool. I'm going to rate it quite highly. 4, maybe even 4 and a bit out of 5. Ooh, wow, that carbonation. Come on. This has been Uncle Jonah. Do all the right things. Click like, click subscribe down below. You won't miss out on any videos. All that kind of stuff that the elder gods from YouTube make me say. And until tomorrow, drink some beer. Come on.